Hello friends, this is Ganesh. Hope you are doing great. In this video, we are going to see about the aggregation based on collect and reduce operator with new syntax. Let's get into the slides. So collect is not a new thing. We have know about what is the use of collect. So it basically collect or aggregate or consolidate the numeric field values based on the non-numeric field values. So for this, we need two different internal tables. One is source internal table. The next one is target internal table. So the target internal table is a combination of numeric and non-numeric fields. So here the grouping plays a major role. Based on the values in the non-numeric fields, all the numeric fields, it may be one or two, can be consolidated or aggregated based on the non-numeric field value. So that is the idea of collect. So we are going to see the new syntax of collect and reduce, and finally we'll decide based on the business scenario and data volume which plays a better role for the development. Okay. So the first one is collect. The syntax is collect value target structure. So structure is nothing but the fields of your target internal table. So that can be declared either in SE11 or in your same program itself. So you can use that structure name over here. And you have to map the source and target field names. The blue ones are the field with non-numeric fields, so it has a different values. Whenever there is a grouping values changes, obviously it will create a new additional line in your target internal table. So these are very simple, we already know it. Okay, so and then you have to pass the consolidated fields, which one you need to add a consolidator or aggregator, that also to be passed in the same manner. Okay, so for a differentiation, so the blue ones are non-numeric fields and this is brown, whatever color it is, it's all numeric fields. Okay, so into target internal table. Okay, so this is a syntax for collect. So still the collect is, it needs a loop, meaning it needs to be included or it needs to be added inside the loop and end loop statement only. Okay, so if you're not just take out the collect outside of the loop, it's not possible as of now. And if you want to add one more field, as a as a numeric field, that field also to be added or consolidated, then you have to just pass it in the same way. Okay, there is no much difference on it if you have one or multiple fields to be summed or consolidated. Okay, so that is also in loop and end loop. So the next one is reduce. So reduce we have used already. If you want to aggregate a value, a field value in an internal table, we used a reduce. Mostly the target is a variable or a work area. So this time the target is an entire internal table. So same like collect, I can say it's an alternative for collect. So it's just going to be added based on the grouping values and it will going to add it in the internal table, target internal table. Okay. So here the syntax is a little bit different and this is out of your loop. So I don't want to do any loop, but I want to do a consolidation. Yes, then you can go with the reduce operator. So the syntax over here is I just divided into 3 or 4 steps for easy understanding. And the first one is the target internal table equal value for groups. So first I have to say these are the fields to be grouped together. Okay, so means non-numeric fields. Okay, I may have 10 fields, but I want to do this consolidation only based on the 5 non-numeric fields. So then I have to list out what are the fields I want to group it. Okay, so that is the first step. So for groups, group name can be any name. It's not Z or Y. Can be started with any alphabet of your source internal table. So source internal table is nothing but the actual syntaxes of work area in body of an internal table. So that we'll see once we come to the actual syntax. So here is a group name of your source internal table and group by grouping field. So here you have to list out your all the grouping fields. It may be one or multiple. Okay, so that is the first step. So you have to say based on this group, you have to start aggregating the field values. Then the next one is this is the actual syntax and we can reorganize as well for the simple or simplest way. So there is a variable name, not work area, sorry. There is a variable equal excuse me, So here introducing the reduce operator. So reduce data type. So this data type is going to be referred for your local variable over here, and this is going to be hold the value for the entire group. So you have a 10 different records. In 10 different records, you have 3 different group values. I'm saying about this grouping fields. Okay. So simple example in this video, I'm going to use based on the material, company code, and then plant. I'm going to combine the quantity and total weight of the material. Okay. This is from the EKPO table. So in this scenario, I may have 3 or 4 different groups, right? So this is going to be hold the entire group value. At the end is going to hold the entire group value. Okay. And then I need one more variable. So technically we call it as these are groups, these are group members. So each record is group members, each group is a one group. So I'm going to have, I need one more variable that is going to be added the group member value, meaning each record value. So I have a group of 3 records. It's going to be added all the 3 record values one by one using this variable. So you need 2 different variables. That's why I'm named as a group value and there's a group member value. Okay, that needs to be initiated equal to 0 over here. That's fine. And then now I'm going to loop it. It means internally it works as a loop, but it's not explicitly looping here. So here I'm going to say, okay, this group, I'm going to loop this group, first one. Okay. In our example, we have 3 different groups. Okay, just an example. So for work area in group, the group name, the same group name, you have to mention it here. And this is work area can be any name you can give. Then what needs to be done? This needs to be added one by one. So I'm going to use this variable group member value plus group equal to the same variable plus which field from this work area, from this group, from this work area, which field needs to be added one by one. So that needs to be added over here. Okay. So what happens? It will add, for example, first group, I have 3 records. It will add all the 3 records. And finally that the consolidated of all the 3 record values is going to be added in this variable. And finally, what are the fields to be added here? Okay, what are the fields you want to a target internal table? So that also to be listed here. Only the fields you want to add it in the target internal table. So here is a fields for grouping. This is for finally I want these fields are to be added in my target internal table. So that needs to be added here in within bracket. You have to mention target field name. So target internal table field name equal to, so group you have to mention here group name hyphen field name. Okay, that needs to be added over here. Okay, same thing for more than one. And finally, I want to add the consolidated value. So that consolidated value is currently available in this variable, group level. Okay, so that needs to be added here. So variable, the same variable used here as well. Okay, so this is the entire syntax for reduce, but this can be simplified. So now for the simplification, just remember these fields: field 1, field 2, field 3. So for better understanding, I can give C1 as a consolidated field. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to change a little bit in the syntax. After group by, still this is same. I don't want to use let variable. Instead, I'm going to use directly the entire reduce against which field needs to be added, consolidated. Instead of adding to a variable and pass it to the another internal table field, I'm going to use it directly over here. So I just remove the let statement. So directly C1 equal to reduce, everything else is same. Initiate, and you have a member variable, and then a for loop, and then next. Okay, so this is pretty simple. And if you want to add one more, the same thing to be added for the second consolidated field also, you can use it like this. So C1, this one, and C2. So probably maybe a different field. Okay, so I'm going to use in this example quantity and net price. Okay, so that is going to be added over like this. So this is a simplified syntax of reduce that gives the consolidated for more than one field as well. Okay, and another thing I have to initiate or how to or just share it over here is this member variable data type is determined based on the initialized value. Okay, so suppose if you want to say variable gem value equal to 0, So this considered as an integer. Okay, suppose I want to use my decimal places also, because here MENG is a decimal places. I want to consolidate including the decimal places. Then you have to declare that over here. So type what is the value of it. Okay, so that needs to be declared here. So that I want to just pass a message. And another one is, if you want to pass a constant value, it's very rare scenario. Apart from this grouping fields, I want to pass some constant value to my one of the field. It may be a consolidated value or it may be another just a field. Yes, you are able to make it to the consolidated value, sorry, constant value also. So these are the two things I want to add it as an additional one in this reduce operator. So this is a entire syntax. So you're going to see some examples how it getting added over here. So comparatively, whether I can go as a collect or reduce, reduce is the best place because this doesn't require a loop. It will just take the entire internal table, do the implicit looping, and get your values added in your target internal table. Okay, let's get into the system. Anything else? No. So this is my system, and today we are going to develop using HANA Studio. Probably you can use Eclipse as well. So for in ABAP and HANA we use GUI. So let's try with Eclipse or HANA Studio as well. And today we're going to use EKPO table. So let me open EKPO table in HANA Studio or Eclipse. Just click OK. It will open the SQL code. It will be useful once you start creating a code, creating a table using Eclipse. Now we don't worry about it, just simply execute it. It will give the data, and I'm going to select the particular columns. I don't want to display everything. So there is an option called select columns option. So deselect. So let me go with material, company code, client, and you can start searching the fields over here as well. I want a PO quantity and net price. So these are the fields, and for example, if I group it the company code, let's take the first one as GT. So I want to filter through that. Okay, so this is one group in all the records. This is one group, and based on all the non-numeric fields, my numeric fields are getting consolidated or accumulated. So first one is the PO quantity and net price. For this material it's 0. Probably it's fine, but other materials we do have the value. So this is what we are going to check how it's the code is getting accumulated based on the collect as well as the reduce operator. So today I'm going to have a program. So come to your package, and this is a source code. I want to create a program here. So ABAP program, ZGI collect and reduce. Okay, collect and reduce. Next, and it's under the package, so you have to select the transport. That's fine. Okay. So now I'm going to start writing the code. Already I have a code, so I don't have to waste your time because it's pretty simple. I need one type structure for my target internal table and a select statement, get the data from EKPO and the loop for that, and then collect statement with new syntax. Okay. So this is the simple code, and this is my type, which has material, company code, plant, and the quantity and price. So I use the same structure for my source as well as the target internal table. Mostly in business scenarios, we might have a different structure between source and target. So here I use the same thing. It's fine. And then I have a select statement. I consider this is my source internal table and this is my target internal table, and I have a select which fetch all the informations and put it in the source internal table. So you can have the same for target as well. I just added just using the like statement here, okay, to create a target internal table. So now I need to have the collect statement. So here, this is my collect statement, which get the value. So here, this structure name typ underscore ekpo. That's what we declared as a structure inside the program. I use the same here, and the collect value. And these are the target internal table field names, and this is from the source. Okay, so for source is nothing but from your loop statement. So it automatically grouping based on these three values and added it here and put it in your target internal table. So let me have a breakpoint to see the output of this internal table. Okay, let's activate it. Okay, so let me have a toggle breakpoint as well. Okay, just a click, it'll create a toggle breakpoint. So just a breakpoint. Okay, so I'm going to execute it now. Just execute. And as we are in Eclipse or HANA Studio, we have a different perspective. So if you want to change from normal ABAP perspective to a debugging level, there is a perspective called debugging perspective. This is on kind of a bug. So it's a debugging perspective. So it'll ask, do you want to change it? So for a reference, I'm not select this option, remove my decision, but you can select it. So it won't ask for every time. So switch, it automatically takes you to the debugging perspective. That will give more space to understand the program flow, like what is inside the data or records in this particular data medium, so like that. Okay, it's a different perspective. So here I have 2259 data over there. Okay, and currently my target internal table is empty, 0. That's fine. I'm going to use, these are the places you can use your function PC F5, F6, F7, F8. The same thing you're going to use it here as well. So I'm going to F8 because I want to see the content of my target internal table. So it's now it's 151. Just double click. It will show it here, and then one more. So here it just open it. So right click, I can see there's a filter. So here you can see the value which we are expecting is 310. That's what we are also expecting. So this is a EKPO. So if you add these three for this combinations, you will get 310 as an output. So same thing is happening in my internal table as well. Okay, so just double click. So here, yes, 310. Okay, so net price is 0, but it's calculating net price for the next materials. Got it? So this is the way the collect works. Now we are going to see the same with reduce operator as well. So I just minimize the other window so you can see little elaborately the code because a little bigger statement. So I used a clear, just I want to make sure the internal table, the target internal table to be clear, which got filled using collect. So here the reduce operator syntax over here. So this is my internal table, same internal table, target internal table, and the value was value, and then you can use the hash symbol over here because it's already declared. So for groups, and group name, so group name can be anything, and of your source internal table, so of work area on the flow declaration in your internal table ITEKPO, and these are the group fields. So here these fields can be any name, so you're actually giving a name for your groups. Okay, so it means group fields actually. So that's what I give a different name for plant. So it's not the same name, you can give whatever name you want, but that needs to be used throughout the rest of your reduce syntax or reduce statement. Okay, so that makes sure. So these are the fields to be grouped, and then these are the fields to be get the values. So here, so matnar is from your PO quantity. Matnar is nothing but your group name. So that what the syntax says. From the group, you have to pass the values to your target field internal table. And then company code and plant. So here, whatever name you have given here, the same thing used in your wherever you're using your group, because these are called group names, group field names. So now the reduce comes to a picture. So here MENG equal to reduce, and this is the data type which refers to a target internal table field. And I need one local variable that needs to be hold all the member values. Okay, so for example, in your EKPO, take this as an example. For this is one group, material, company, code, and plant, and I have three records. Okay, so for this group, I have three members. So that what are going to be used over here. So all the member values are going to be added with this local variable. Once the group ends, then automatically the consolidated value to be transferred to the final internal table, target internal table field. Okay, so that is the syntax of this. So and then type VGWRT, we'll see why we have to use type instead of equal to 0 or initialized. And there is another loop is formed for a particular group. Every group has as a loop. It's actually because it has a different members, right? So for and on the floor declaration of your work area in group, the group name, same group name, whatever you declared here, that is going to be added here as well. And then the local variable used to added all the member values, and finally this value is transferred to a final internal table. Same thing I have used for net price with a different data type. And here is a different way of declaration. We'll see why for that. And then same for loop and next statement as well. Okay, so pretty simple. It's not going to be much difficult, and output is going to be same like the collect statement. Let's see that as well. Back toward that. So let me execute, and still I'm in ABAP perspective. Execute. I didn't use the remover option, so it will ask, do you want to switch? Yes, switch it. Okay, I have a breakpoint here, and okay, I need a breakpoint here also. Let's oops. Right click, sometimes toggle breakpoint. Okay, so let's go F8. Okay, it stops here. Okay, so now you can see this one we have seen already. Just for reference, I'm using it here. So maybe okay, the next one I can see. The next material is 3, and with 3 is 18395 and 1103980. It's fine. So next F6. So this is getting cleared, and I'm going to use the reduce operator. Again, it got filled. Okay, I raised the breakpoint, final statement of the program. So the same, the end with 3 has the same value. Okay, so comparatively, reduce is a good in the performance wise, because collect, again, it needs a loop. Okay, you can just check it out. So loop and do all the collect statement, because if you want more values, more different way of combination, then you have to use multiple collects, right? So same way you have to use multiple reduce, but the performance wise, reduce gives a better way. You can just check your own business scenario performance as well. Okay, so the final one is, if you want to have, okay, simply I'm saying, okay, if you want to have constant values, so you can have it, but this will affect the grouping actually. But if you want, for example, I have a field called date. Probably I can say, okay, so here today's date. Okay, so this can be added here equal to side date. So this is what I'm saying. So you can have any constant value also possible with this. Okay, add toward it. Exactly. So now I'm going to initialize this one with 0. Okay, but this one is VGWRT has a decimal place, but the local, the member variable is act as an integer if you specify the initialized value is 0. So that determined based on your initialized value. So if you execute, you can see that one. What happens is, if this is an integer, it automatically accumulates everything as an integer value, right? So if I, okay, reach the breakpoint, it's fine. Now you can see the data type of MENG. It's 100. Okay, it just give 100, probably the last record value is 100, and actual type is what? Integer. Okay, so that could be the reason. If it is an integer value, it's fine, but if you want a decimal, then you have to use it. But sometimes you may consider, you can have initialize like this 0.000, but what happens is it considered as a character because single quotes. So better, if you want to have the same data type, you can have like this type VGWRT. Okay, another way of declaring, because sometimes what happens is I want to give exactly value. This is also fine. Otherwise, one more declaration is you can give value data element, whatever data element, and you can specify this. Inside you can give some values that what it shows, but in this version is not accepting any values over here, but just empty bracket is fine. So value of data element, then empty open and close parenthesis. So automatically it takes that particular value, means especially it gives the it determines the data type exactly what you want, with decimal places or without decimal places. Okay, so that is the reason we use type over here, and both works fine. Okay, so I think that's it. Just play around with this, and mostly if you want to go the aggregation, please go with reduce, then collect or loop and undo. Okay, so this might be useful. Okay, if you want to see the output, I think I didn't activate it. Let's see, I want to see the date actually, whether the system date is carried forward or not here. The constant values. 151. Yes, it's added over here. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And go through this. If you have any doubts, please let me know. And thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.